Toby, where are you from?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm from anywhere. I was born in Tacoma, Washington. But I was raised in foster care. All over California, made my way to Florida, made my way to, I think I was in Texas for a little bit too, but I'm not sure if that was foster care, if that was with family. But from a lot of different places, or been to a lot of different places, but spent, I guess, most of my life now in San Francisco.
Hmm.
So
And so you said you moved around a lot. How long were you in the foster care system?
from fourth grade, so I don't know if that was 6 or 7 to 16. So 10 years. Yeah.
Wow. And through that experience, you said you moved around to a lot of spots? So like how many places
Oh,
did
yeah.
you go to?
Uh, 22 families, I think like 5 or 6 group homes, and a million park benches, bunch of friends' houses, families, aunties' couches, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So
And how would you describe that experience?
fun. No, not that fun. Um, the foster care system, from my experience, is uh, definitely flawed, but it also depends on who your social worker is. If you can, I don't want to say finesse, but it's a game of finesse. If you can finesse your way into getting resources, you should definitely do it. I had to sit there and ask for things that I feel like should have just been immediately given to me. But um, if you can finesse your way through it, if you can ask for certain things and apply pressure in certain areas to make your life a little bit better, you should. But I knew growing up there, I wasn't happy with any of the families, any of the group homes, sleeping on park benches. As you know, a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, you're that's no fun. So I knew that I had to ask to get placed somewhere else, or I knew that if I ran away from a foster home or from a group home and you know caused a scene, then I would be able to go to a new placement, and maybe that placement they would actually want me. They would actually want me to be their son or whatever it may be. It didn't work up until I turned 16. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
So what what was the mentality that you had, and what do you think shifted from those experiences to get it to a place where you found your forever home?
Um, I knew that the foster care system wasn't for me. I knew that growing up around these kids who had, you know, traumas that were similar or, less extreme or more extreme or whatever it may have been, the things that they were doing and the ways that they were coping weren't healthy. And I saw that, and I definitely had some unhealthy coping mechanisms as well. But I knew that I didn't want that for the rest of my life. I knew what would make me happy, what would make me fulfilled is being somebody's son, being a part of a family, having, you know, to wake up and go to school because my parents said so, not because I wanted to make sure that I graduated so I could have a good job once I live on my own, you know. I didn't want to age out of the foster care system. I wanted to be a part of a family. And so when I did find that forever family, um, I think I had told you prior how me and my parents met out of Panera Bread, where the day prior I went out. I was, I acted a damn fool and came with, a super hungover, hickeys on my neck. I was like, I was a hot mess. And I looked at these two men who, while looking at me, they didn't see money. They didn't see a paycheck. They saw their son. They saw somebody that they could raise. They saw their future family. They saw their future home. And I found comfort in that. I had to make it a little difficult, but I found comfort. And at some point, I was like, why am I going to self sabotage the thing that I've been looking for my entire life? So it took all the way up until I was 16, but, I made it happen.
Do you feel like you needed to go through certain experiences to get you to that point where, or was it just luck of the draw, or did you shift in a certain way that was like you had certain realizations that helped you manifest and create that your dream for yourself?
I think there are definitely some things that I did not need to go through. That they weren't character building, they weren't anything. They were just dumb. Uh, there were a lot of things that I definitely did need to go through to help me become the person that I am today. And to help me accept the fact that this is what it is now. Um, but I don't know if all of those experiences. I don't know where I would be. I think it was luck of the draw. Um, I had been asked by my social worker for like 6 months, like, "Hey, what do you think about moving to San Francisco? What do you think about living with two men? What do you think about this?" And I was always like, "Why are you asking me this question? What, stop asking me. Like, if you don't have anything for me, you know, don't get my hopes up." And I think that was the biggest thing, is having to continue to hope for it, but also like not, overly like excited for something that may not be, real.
Mm,
So half of those experiences were detrimental to my hope. And then the other half were, you know, why today I can sit here and be like, yeah, this is what I went through.
mm,
And this is what is not okay in the foster care system. And this is why I am the way I am.
mm. You had When we spoke on the phone before, you had mentioned that there was another opportunity that came by when you were a few years younger, right? Where you found someone that could have been the forever home, or you're thinking that it was moving in that direction. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah. I I think I was in a group home at the time, and my social worker, again, Panera Bread is my comfort spot. Um, every time there was a potential forever home, we went straight to Panera Bread. Half salad, half sandwich, so grilled cheese and a Caesar salad. Um, that was uh, I don't even remember what year that was, but no, it was it was a mother and a father. They had their own two sons. Father was in the military. Mother was I don't know what she did. I think she was the typical stay-at-home mom who had her hobbies. And that was my idea of what a perfect family was. You know, I my idea, my in my brain, I was like, oh, he's 6'12". Like, he's not actually 6'12". But, he's super tall. He's ripped. He's a badass. He's military. I didn't even know what he did in the military. I just heard military and was like, oh yeah, he's badass. He did turn out to be a badass. Um, and I just was like, that's what I need. That's what I want. And so I dived head first, and that was really good. It was really fun. He taught me a lot about discipline. He taught me a lot about just being a good person. Took me to the gym, which for a large part of my life was my personality. I lived, breathed, talked gym 24/7 for some reason. And that was a great experience. And then we were in San Diego, we were surfing, and he broke his neck. And that was watching it happen. I was like, it just, from the moment that that happened to the moment that I moved out, my brain was just switched off. I just, at that rate, I was just going through the motions and saw what was going to start happening if, he didn't get better, but also tried to sit there and say, like, well, I'm going to try to, stick it out. Maybe he'll get better. Maybe he'll get better. Maybe he'll get better. And we moved to Florida because he got stationed out there. And at some point I was just like, yeah, this isn't what I need. I was looking up to this, you know, monster of a man who could conquer the world, and right now he can't conquer, bowl of soup. And I that wasn't what I was looking up to. That was not what I was ready for. I wanted stability, and that wasn't stable. So, but also it was scary because every time he had to go in and get a surgery, who knows, it could have been his last.
Mm,
He's paralyzed on half of his body. He can't really speak too well, so communicating was also difficult. And I gave up on him. I completely abandoned him, and I didn't look back for a long time. I didn't think about it. Just was like, all right, well, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I need. So I gotta go. Yeah. Not a good experience, that part. But
And how'd you feel through that experience? Or did you said you didn't even think about it? Was there some emotional experience that you gained through that or learned?
yeah, for most of it, my brain was shut off and I was just doing what I was used to doing, which was, you know, wake up in the morning, go to school, leave school, go do whatever it is that I wanted to do. I stopped being the athlete. I stopped being kid who did great in English class. I stopped being all the things that I wanted to be because I just shut off. I knew where I was going. I knew that I wasn't going to be there for much longer. And after a while, after I had already left, I was like, okay, well, this is where that went wrong because I'm still in communication with him today. Uh, we still talk on the phone every once in a while. Like I said, he can't really talk too well, so it's mostly me talking. Um, but at some point, I was like, that wasn't the right thing to do. Part of being, you know, part of being a part of a family is, yeah, you have your parents, and they're supposed to take care of you. They're supposed to, light that flame on your stomach. They're supposed to tell you you can do it. But the other part of it is also being somebody's son, and having to learn how to be somebody's son, having to learn how to sit there and take criticism that is like, for a kid, it's like you have to go to school, you have to graduate. As a kid, I'm like, no, what do you mean? No, I don't. Like, I know a lot of people who don't have degrees, who don't have high school diplomas, who don't, they're successful. But that's, and then actually going and doing it and like, okay, I have to go to school. My parents said I have to, I skipped school. Now I'm grounded, or I got in trouble. I got suspended. Now I can't hang out with my friends. It's those are the small things of like being somebody's son that growing up in a family, you don't have to think about. You don't have to flip that switch. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to be a son today. No, you were raised your entire life as somebody's son. So having to learn how to be a son is also not giving up on your parents, but having the option to in foster care, it was easy. It was okay, yeah, I give up. I can go to a new family like that. And I think the biggest difference is when I did that here with my parents, they said no. it was I was like, I want to go, and they're like, nah, no, go to your room. I was like, what do you mean? I want to leave. Try again tomorrow. Um, and even in that moment of like, okay, yeah, like I give up. And they said no. I actually listened, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should stop trying. I'm here for the long haul. It is what it is. But that turned out to be the biggest blessing. Don't take it's not, it is what it is, but that's what I learned was, okay, well, when I do find my forever home, how am I going to be their son? You know, how am I going to make them proud, but also piss them off? Like, that's a something, it's a thing to do. Um, but yeah, I think that's the biggest lesson I learned was how to be, uh, I don't want to say productive, but how to be a part of a family, not a productive member of the family. Cause if I sit there and eat hot chips and play video games all day, that's not productive at all, but how to be a member of the family and have some sort of contribution, um, just to be happy. I think that's the biggest thing I learned.
And
Yeah.
and so what does that mean to you to be a son, to be a part of a family? Because I know that you mentioned that was something that was like a huge goal of yours and something you really wanted that was elusive for a while, and you got it. Like, what does that mean to you?
It's I guess it's a little different now than it was before. Now that I'm in my 20s and a son of of two great people, it's it's not just listening to your parents, it's not just challenging your parents, it's not just being, you know, their son. It's not like, hey, I don't have gas money, can I have 20 bucks? It's um you know if your family is going through something, you're there. If Ken and JD ran out of money, I would sit there and say, I work minimum wage, but here you go. Um, I'll do my best. It's being there when the times are just as tough as they are fun. So, yeah, great. We can go travel the world. We can go do all of this, but can I stay in the conversation when we're having an argument about something that, you know, could have been different or could have changed? Or maybe it's a useless argument, but can I at least stay in the conversation and not just abandon um, their feelings and mine? But find a path through it, find a way through it. That's being a son, and or that's being, I guess, yeah, it's being a son in my opinion.
And how does that feel when those times come up, those challenges where you are stepping up to the plate? Like, how does that make you feel?
Um, for a while, I wasn't good at it. I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna shut down and I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna lock the door and I'm gonna clean it. I don't know why, but cleaning was, what I did when I was upset. Um, Now it's if there's a tough conversation that needs to be had, I would rather sit in the conversation, be productive through the conversation, and find the other side and go through and say, you know what, thanks for having that conversation with me. If I'm asking for something that I don't know that I will get, before it was like, I'm not even gonna ask, I'm not gonna get it. Now it's like, hey, would you mind just entertaining this conversation? Or would you mind just, having this conversation? If it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. And having the conversation regardless of, the outcome is uh that's more beneficial than, being shut down and being
Mm,
whatever about it. Yeah.
mm.
I think that's I got a little sidetracked there. But yeah. Um I'd rather go in and have those conversations now than just avoid them. Uh and it feels good afterwards. It feels nice. It's like, okay, it was a no, but at least we talked about it. So it wasn't a hard no. Who knows? In a year, it might be a maybe.
Mm.
If I'm like, hey, can I move back in? I don't want to pay rent anymore. And they say no, I'm gonna be like, it's okay. They said no. If they say pay rent, oh, that's a yes to me.
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, having those conversations is a lot easier now. It's a lot more fulfilling. I feel like we have a better connection, father son, than we ever did.
Mm,
Just because we can have those conversations, just because I can now stay in those conversations
mm,
and not get, upset and just leave.
mm.
So, yeah.
Where did uh did some of that running away, as you mentioned, like it came from your upbringing, like going through the foster care system?
Um, in the foster care system, it was harsh. Like, there's some foster homes where you're like, "Hey, can I eat?" And they're like, "No, I'm running away." So I got so used to running away at the word no that it just became something I was just, "Oh, hey, can I have 20 bucks for gas?" No. Oh, bye, whatever. Oh, hey, can I have, money for food? No, there's food at the house. I'm not gonna eat at the house. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna eat anyways. Um, so those big things turned into the small things of no, you can't eat. No, you can't leave your room. No, you can't, have a new pair of shoes, even though yours have holes in them. To no, Toby, you can't, we're I'm not gonna go buy you this, $100,000 Lamborghini or whatever it is. So that's a little extreme, but at that it's again two totally extremes, but it's the same thing. It's like, no, you can't have this. Run away. No, I'm not gonna buy you a Lamborghini. Okay, run away.
Mm,
I never asked for a Lamborghini. At least not in a serious manner. But if you want, no. But yeah, I think hearing the word no growing up was always negative, and there was never a positive that followed. So it was just go. Okay, cool. Can't eat. You're not going to feed me. You're not going to take care of me. You're just going to collect a check. I'm gone. You're not going to get money out of me just because I live here. You give me a roof to sleep under. Great. But you don't give me clothes. You don't give me food. You don't give me anything else. You don't give me fulfillment in life. So I'm leaving.
mm,
Um, Now on the other end is again, no, you can't have $20. Okay, I'm leaving. At what point did that change? I have no clue. I don't know. I I really don't know. I can't answer that question. Yeah. I just I got used to hearing the word no, 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 and then running away, and then one time I think just was like, okay, but what if? Okay, maybe. And that, oh God, sorry. Turn this on airplane mode. My apologies. Um, yeah, where were we? I got totally sidetracked there. ADHD.
Just on the no, 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 and running away, and like when that shifted and changed for you.
Yeah, I don't know when it changed. Um, I th- I would say it changed the day that I was like, hey, like I want to go, and Ken and JD said no, but I think it started changing before that,
Mm.
because if they said no, if when they said no, it wasn't like I didn't really fight for it. I was like, okay, well, whatever. So at some point, I think it was I don't know. I think one time I got a no, and then it was but if you do this, sure. I was like, oh, there's a positive.
Mm.
I can I can earn something. I can work towards something. Okay, cool. And it wasn't the bare necessities. It wasn't, hey, can I have dinner tonight? No. It was probably something, yeah, silly along the lines of, hey, can I have $20 for food? Like, no, but if, you pull your grades up, yeah, sure, we can give you money for food every week.
Mm.
Okay. Or, hey, can I go out with my friends? No, not until you get your homework done. Oh, damn, okay. Hey, can I stay out till 1 o'clock in the morning? No, not if we can't pick you up. You're not taking public transportation at 1 o'clock in the morning. So at some point, hearing the buts is what changed it for me.
Mm.
So that when it was time for, the, hey, I want to leave. No, I was just like, oh, okay. I guess I'm not fighting for that one. I guess I'm here to stay.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a very long, drawn out response, but yeah.
It seems like you've found people that really love and care about you, and that helped you see your own beauty inside of yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, when I met them, I was already like super conceited, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm the schnaz. Um, but the day that we were sitting down at Panera Bread, and I was a hot mess, and I saw them look at me again with just nothing but love, nothing but like, this is the kid that we read about in this large stack of paperwork. That was something there flipped me where I was like, okay, like maybe I'm worth a little bit more than just good looks and a paycheck every month. Maybe maybe I can actually do something with my life. Maybe I can actually be something. And um oh god, they have been so supportive through everything that I've ever wanted to do. I was super into shoes. Hey, can you buy me this really expensive pair of shoes? I'm gonna resell it for even more. Yeah, here you go. I wore them. Um, hey, I want to start painting shoes. Okay, great. We'll make a space for you in the garage to, start doing that. Okay, well, hey, I want to get into photography and I want to start filming YouTube videos. Oh, okay, great. Let's get you a camera. Let's get you the tools and resources that you need.
Mm.
Hey, I want to, tell the story of my life. Oh, hey, meet Evan. So yeah. They've been so supportive. They've been so I would even say excited to see all the things that I want to do with my life and all the things that I've, want to achieve. So that's great.
Mm.
I think that's what I've been looking for. Somebody who's like, hey, you got it. I don't know what you're doing, but you got it.
Mm.
That's, that's, yeah. They helped me build my confidence in myself for sure. And by confidence, I don't mean like, oh, my name is Toby. I'm, Mr. Big and Bad, or I'm Mr. This and that. No, that's the confidence in myself of I may not got it right now, but if I continue to do what I'm doing, I'll find it.
Mm,
Whatever it is, I got it.
mm,
I may not be physically in my hand. I may not have it now. I may not have it in 5 years. I may not have it in 10 years. But whatever that it is that I'm aiming for, my parents said I got it, so I got it.
mm,
That's that's confidence right there for me. That's okay. I can do it.
mm.
Yeah.
Is there something in particular that you're currently aiming for?
Um, aiming for uh goal wise, not really. I'm kind of just going through the flow. I want to get into real estate. I want to start my own business. I want to, achieve all these things. I want to pull myself out of debt. I want to do all these things. Um, Even in all the small things, it's always like, hey, that's a good idea. You should go for it. You should try it. I don't remember the last time I got shut down by them. I don't.
Mm,
It's never been. Yeah, maybe that route isn't for you. It's never been. Maybe you should think about something else, or I don't see you doing that. It's always been, hey, if that's what you want, do it. So right now my goal is to live. And they're like, hey, do it, do it to your best ability. I like my job. They're like, good, do your job. Be the best at it.
wow.
Yeah. So right now I don't necessarily have any big goals, but the small goals that I do have, like I want to get a new car. They're like, yeah, hey, do it. We're here for you. What do you need?
Wow.
And yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Sounds like you're very loved and supported no matter what, whether you want to like go out and like go and strive to achieve big things or just live life in the present moment and enjoy what you have.
Hmm.
It sounds like you're really loved and supported no matter what.
Oh yeah, 100%. Uh, and I don't think I've always felt like that, because for a while it was like I was just failing at everything that I was doing. And so at one point they were like, again, it was never a, no, this isn't for you. It was a, like, you need to think about what you really want to do and then come back when you know.
Mm,
And yeah. And sure enough, I said, hey, I want to move out. I want to get engaged. I want to propose to my girlfriend at the time. I want to do this. Okay. I think when I said I wanted to propose, the only question I got was, are you sure? But it wasn't a, are you sure? Like, I don't think you're ready. It was a, are you sure you're ready? Um, I don't think they didn't think I was not ready. I think they wanted to make sure that I believed in myself and believed that it was something that was going to work out.
mm.
And at the time I did. And for the proposal, they were like, what do you need? What do you need help with? Oh, I need help with this. I want to do this. I want to plan this, whatever it is. They were there 100% of the way.
Sounds like because before you said, your biggest goal in life is to be a father, be a family man.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're making some great strides towards that.
I wish. I wish that I was having a kid tomorrow, but no.
Yeah.
Not prepared for that one. But yeah, no, I want to be a husband. I want to be a father. I want to be a family man. I want to be able to provide all of the things that I wanted growing up, and but also do it, the right way. Yeah, I don't want to take my traumas and throw them on my children. So that's why I say right now I may not be ready. I've still got some things that I have to work through. So maybe now's not the best time, but I do want to be a dad, and I don't want to be a father to a stranger. So I have to go out and I have to date, and I want to be somebody's husband. So
Mm.
I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be the best boyfriend that I can until I earn that fiance, and then earn that husband, and then grow a family and do everything that I need to do to be a good man.
Mm. And so what do you envision? Like what do you envision that being like? And you said you don't want to bring your traumas there. So like what are you doing to change that, shift that and create a different environment?
I'm looking at myself through a third person lens. Uh More recently, so I've been looking at, okay, what am I doing to be a good partner? What am I doing to be a bad partner? What am I doing to be a good son? What am I doing to be a bad son? I know you and I briefly on the phone had spoke about for a while, I didn't talk to my dads at all. Um, they wouldn't see me, they wouldn't hear from me for months at a time. And I always thought like it's fine, they're there when I need them or whatever. And they always were. But, I had to sit there and be like, okay, well, this is my family. I have a little brother, I have a little sister. I want to be able to be a part of their lives. When my little sister sees me, I don't want her to be like, I don't want to touch him. I don't want to hug him. He's weird. I don't know this guy. I want her to get excited. I want her to tell me, give me a big old hug. Um, and I remember I went to go visit one time, and Roma looked at me, and she just was like, okay, like, who is this guy? And that hurt. I was like, oh God, I got to be more involved. I got to come around a lot more. And now, you know, not just with Roma, but with, JD, him and I, we try to do everything we try to do something once a month. There's months where we don't get to it, but we make it a goal. One time a month, minimum. One time a month, we go out, we do something. Me and him, we hang out together, we have fun. Um, and so it's, things like that where I know I can't just have somebody that I say I love and completely abandon them and only come around when I want them. So for me, if I were a father, I have to be involved every day.
Mm.
I can't, oh, hey wife, go take care of the kid. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to watch football. I'm going to whatever it is that I do and barely spend time with that kid. So I know for me, I have to get used to the, you know, extra effort. I have to put more effort into the small things.
Mm.
The random phone calls just to check in, right? The making sure that we actually, get something done once a month. The As a partner, the small things. The hey, uh, I I want a Capri Sun. Can you go get me one? Okay, cool. I'm actually gonna put the straw in the Capri Sun.
Mm.
Before I give it to you. Oh, hey, I'm super tired tonight. I don't want to cook. Okay, I got it. Don't worry. Cook, clean the kitchen, take out the trash. Next morning, you're gonna wake up. You're gonna be like, oh my god, the kitchen's clean. So I'm starting to put more effort into those small things so that when the time does come where I am a husband and I'm a father, those small things are going to be the things that matter the most. Those moments of got off work and I went straight to my son's, baseball practice, or I went straight to, my daughter's recital, or, maybe my wife was getting an award at work, or whatever it may be. I got off, I headed straight there. I put my effort in there rather than, oh, I'm tired. My back hurts. I want to go home. There'll be another football game. There'll be another practice. There'll be another whatever.
Mm.
Um, Putting that effort in where it matters is big.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you do that. I mean, just from our conversation on the phone and earlier today, you said you take your fiance to work, right? Like
Yeah.
on a rainy day, she doesn't like driving you. You take her to work. Like you're there to cook, to clean, to be there as a amazing partner.
Yeah. I try my best. It's not every day that, I'm doing those things but if I can, I will. And I think that uh my previous relationship where I was engaged and, I'm the one who fumbled that one. You know, uh, we both had a part to play, but in the end, my mistake is the one that cost the whole relationship. So I had to take a step back and think, okay, well, what led up to that? Why is it that, it was so easy for her to give up? Okay, well, I didn't take out the trash. I didn't clean the room. I didn't do this. I didn't whatever it was. I was kind of a piece of shit. Sorry for the language, but I thought I was being a good partner. I thought I was being a good man, and in reality all I was doing was going to work and paying the bills. And nowadays people are like, oh, that's what a man is supposed to do. That's a good man. But you can't really be happy like that.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I go to work now. I put in tons of overtime when I can. Work will call me. That's who was calling me right now is work. Work will call me, but it's about putting the phone down and paying attention. Now it's about, okay, well, you know, I had a really exhausted day at work, and so did my girlfriend. Uh, okay, what can I do? I can either cook her a really nice meal, but that takes away from her feelings and her emotions, and uh, doesn't give her an outlet. I'm going to be more focused on the meal and let her sit in silence and whatever she's feeling. Or I can take all that energy that I have to make a meal and I can spend it with her. One small thing, one simple, very small thing. It's very intimate. Is when we take a shower, I'll bathe her. I will sit there. I will scrub her back. I will scrub the bottom of her feet. And then I will get out of the shower. I will wrap her in the towel. I will go into the room and I will talk to her. I will call her beautiful, whatever it needs to be, whatever I see that she may need or want in that moment is what I will provide. And then I'll order a pizza so that we can eat.
Yeah.
Now we're both fed. All of that energy that I would have spent cooking, it was more productive in the relationship. Cooking the meal would have been, would have been a great meal. I'm a great cook, but that pizza tasted better you know, after having shared love like that. So the small things are the ones that matter. Taking the energy that you have to do one thing that may be a little bit bigger and focus it on emphasizing the small thing. That's for me what will make me a good partner, a good father, a good person. So, yeah.
Sounds like you really prioritize the relationships in your life now.
Yeah, try my best. Definitely have a lot to work on. Definitely do struggle a little bit still, but I want to make sure that everybody feels the love that I actually have for them so that they don't have to second guess whether or not it's true. So that, when I tell my dad, hey, I love you, he's not like, do you really? When I tell Roma, like, oh, I love you to death, Roma, she's not like, you wouldn't die for me, I would. That's my homie. That's my, she's so, oh my God, I love my sister. I would go to hell and back for her. And I want to make sure that she knows that. I want to make sure that she feels it. I want to make sure that my girlfriend understands that I'm going to be there for her on her bad days just as much as I am on her good days. On her good days, I'll leave her alone if she wants. Go do you. But on your bad days, don't be alone. Don't do that to yourself. So I want to make sure everybody knows that if I say I love you, it's because I mean it and because I'm willing to do whatever I can to make sure that you're good. Even if there's nothing I can do. So, yeah.
I'm sure that gives you a really strong feeling inside.
Yeah, speaking about it makes me a little shaky. Just because this is not stuff that I usually, vocalize. It's not stuff that I actually usually talk about. But yeah, like it makes me feel really good when, nobody even has to say like, oh, thanks for that. Thanks for, ordering the pizza and talking to me instead. Thanks for, giving me that really big hug when you saw me. Thanks for whatever. I don't need the thanks. It's now when I say I love you, it's not a, yeah, whatever. It's now when I say I love you, it's I love you too. And it's heartfelt and it's meant and it holds weight. The word love holds a lot of weight. And before it was something that would be just like tossed around. I was like, yeah, sure, I love you, whatever. But now it's like, I'm not going to say it unless I, can sit behind it and, give it. So, yeah.
I love that feeling as well. Just being there with the people that I love and being there to support them. Almost like what you were saying in the beginning about the chaos. Like I agree. Like I thrive in the chaos, and it's almost interesting when there is chaos going on in my family or my relationship, and chaos in the sense of just challenges,
Mhm.
right? Maybe it's not like too actual like chaotic in the sense, but just like be there on those tough days, like to me is one of the most fulfilling
Yeah.
experiences in the world. And that's like when we're focused on giving to other people, I find is just so powerful.
So like in those moments of like, say there are challenges, are do you ask what like do you ask your partner like, hey, what do you need? Do you ask your dad like, hey, what do you need?
Mm.
With the people around you when you see that there's something happening and it's starting to get chaotic, do you ever try to prevent it or do you just kind of let it slide and get there first?
Prevent like a
Prevent chaos. So like if, you know, say you haven't taken the trash out for a week, the
mm,
trash is full, and you know, hey, if I don't take that trash out, somebody's gonna be mad.
mm,
Would you just take it out, or would you sit there and wait for that conversation to happen? So then maybe it's because you feel like, you know, doing the trash, that's just not something you should do, right?
mm.
Maybe it's
No, for me, I enjoy taking out the trash. I enjoy doing the things for the people that I love. And so for me, I think the challenge is like just uh being in that state of like focus or awareness to like just see that, because like sometimes if I'm like overly stressed, overworking, overthinking about different things, I might miss doing some of those things.
mhm,
But when I feel love and gratitude inside and I'm present, it becomes very easy for me. I just see it and it's not even a choice of like, do I want to do this or not? It's just I
just
love
do it.
I love doing it because it's like that brings me so much
Hmm.
joy. And so I find myself so much more joyous when I'm providing and giving
Hmm.
and doing things like you mentioned with your girlfriend, like being in the shower with her and like scrubbing her back and like making her happy. I love that as well.
So on the other spectrum of it, on those days that you don't feel loved,
Mm,
you don't feel the joy in the relationship. What keeps you in it? What keeps you focused? Like,
mm,
I'm gonna take that trash out. I'm gonna
mm.
do this. I'm gonna do that.
I think the actual action of it is giving and
Mm,
is providing. So like it helps me and it helps the relationship. It helps it all.
mm,
So yeah, I feel like there's that sometimes just like a challenge in doing whatever like task is in front, no matter like how simple or difficult it may be, right? Something as simple as taking out the trash or, some of the stuff I do in business, which are like much I feel like much more complex, time involved tasks, but like we find the joy and fulfillment when we go and do it.
mhm.
And I watched like a J. Cole interview, like a podcast, and he said, not every day he wants to get up and make music, but when he goes and actually makes the music, like he finds something that he loves and enjoys in it. So I think that there's some value in just like having a discipline of knowing like, hey, this is something that is going to help. It's going to help me, going to help my mood, going to help my relationship.
Mm.
And so that's where I find joy, but easier said than done sometimes, right? If I'm feeling overly anxious or overthinking,
Mhm.
um, or just feeling like down on myself, like it can take a lot of energy just to do like a simple thing.
Yeah. Okay. I never thought about it like that. For me, it's always like if I'm not feeling that, it's hard for me to stay in it.
Mm,
If I'm not feeling like I'm receiving the love and receiving the support and receiving whatever it is, it's difficult to stay in it.
mm,
Doing those small things, it's nice. Um, it is fulfilling, but I think one of the main struggles that I've had and somewhat dealing with still is what am I going to do in those moments where I don't feel loved? I don't feel cared for. I don't feel, how am I going to stay in it? How am I going to keep myself from sabotaging? How am I going to keep
mm,
myself from, um, you know, not maintaining? the relationship, whether it be with my partner, with my parent, with my job, whatever it may be. How do I stay doing the small things? So yeah, I find joy in those small things, but I don't know how to find joy when I'm not receiving that love,
Mm.
when I'm not receiving that support. So what's something that you think is good for those days? What's your philosophy on the days where you don't feel loved, you don't feel supported, you don't feel joyous, but you still want to do those things? Where do you find the effort? Where do you find the energy?
Mm. Man, different. I find different techniques really valuable. So breathing, like just to get, because to me, I think my biggest challenge isn't feeling loved. Like I think my biggest challenge is just feeling overly anxious.
Mm,
And so for me, when I just get these feelings of overwhelm, it's like just too much. And I kind of just like crawl into my own shell. So to me, it's like it's breathing, and it's like just going and doing something small, like is really just like getting that momentum going,
mm,
like taking one small step at a time has
mm,
been really helpful for me, because I recognize that, like, as difficult as it is to just take that one small step, like I can create my own emotions by taking that step.
mm,
And so like for me it manifests more on like the business side, is like where I feel more challenges, and just taking that small step of like I'm gonna go and like do this thing, this task that I've been avoiding,
mhm,
right? And then I find the love in that.
mm,
And I think something for you, it sounds like this is something that you've been struggling with, and is like maybe you can like find that love and joy in taking it. So even like taking the trash out, right? Like even if that day you don't feel loved and supported by your partner, like I think that a lot of times like that emotion comes from within,
mhm,
right? That those feelings of love, and then we end up magneting it. We end up creating that love because we're feeling it inside.
mm,
And that's where I think, coming back to, our conversation on the phone, and this is just my theory on it, you might have something different, but it sounds like something really shifted in you when you realize like, hey, it's like it's about me becoming a son. It's not about me looking for um like parents. It's about like me becoming a son. And I think it's like on us to take ownership of our emotions, um that then create that, right? Because
mm.
as you mentioned, like, yeah, you found amazing parents, but there's probably, I don't know if you give yourself enough credit in terms of like where you got to be able to accept that.
Mm. I don't even know. Uh, I don't even know at what point that I accepted it. Um, I don't know. I'm stumped. My brain is stumped. uh, no, that all makes sense. Um, yeah. No, I can agree. I can see that. In the days where small tasks aren't, I don't think small tasks are meant to be fun. I don't think taking out the trash is meant to be fun. I don't think that cleaning the kitchen is meant to be fun. I don't think that waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and taking my girlfriend to work is meant to be fun. Um, I think it's not meant to be fun, but it's meant to be done. Um, in order to maintain the relationship, in order to maintain the happiness, even if we had a terrible argument the night before, if we wake up and I say, "Hey, I'm still going to take you to work," even though I don't want to,
Mm.
I think that I can see that mindset. It sets the tone for not just the day, not just the mood, but it's that snowball effect of, well, he was mad at me, but he still took me to work. Or I was mad at her, I still took her to work. I still have that love to give, even though it's not fun. even though it's, it's the worst thing for me is waking up early in the morning. I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. I love to sleep in, but I'll do it because that's what my relationship needs in that moment. I
Mm.
may not even need it. Maybe it's just a way I can make it a little bit better. So, no,
So how do you feel when you do those things? Like maybe you're not looking forward to it going up to it, but like
once
during the
it
task or once you complete it, like what's your feelings?
once it's once the task is completed, while I'm doing it, I'm doing nothing but complaining the whole time. No, I'm not usually complaining, but I'm trying to find a positive outlook in it. I'm trying to say, okay, well, I'm taking out the trash, but hey, at least it's not like the first time I took out the trash. I lost the keys to the apartment and to her car.
Mm.
I threw them down the trash chute the first time I took out the trash in the apartment. um, that was not a fun time. That was not a good time. But hey, at least not like the first time. Or hey, you know what? We're out before the sun is up. I get to see the sunrise.
Mm.
Maybe I'll go get myself a coffee afterward. Maybe reward myself a little bit for this great task. Or, maybe it's not a great task. Again, mundane task. But I feel after it's completed, I feel like, okay, like that's good. That's done. I feel successful in that.
Mm.
I feel like whatever I just did was somewhat positive, even if it was negative the whole way there. At least I did it.
Mm.
At least I put my best foot forward. Nobody can say I didn't try. So yeah, I feel like after the tasks are done, I do feel a little happier. Like, okay, I still got it. But again, even when it's hard for me to maintain it. It's hard for me to stay in it. But I definitely, I like your perspective on it of, even though it may be hard, you set the tone, you do that small task. That still shows that you have the love. That brings the love out. And maybe if you guys were having a hard day, or maybe if you're having a hard day for yourself and you do one small thing for yourself, oh, man, I have laundry that I need to do. You just fold it. Well, now you're not living out of a basket.
Mhm.
Now you've actually got, your drawers all set up and whatever it is. Uh, It's I can agree with that sets the pace. That
Mm.
provides a little bit more love than there was before, and it can just snowball.
Mm.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one. Taught me something.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
So for the viewers going through a difficult time, because it sounds like you've gone through some difficult times, is there anything else like just wisdom that you'd like to share on like, yeah, just some wisdom that you'd love to share?
Yeah, I think you and I talked about it on the phone. We did. There's a difference between a hard time and a tough time, a bad time and a tough time. Um, a lot of the times, plenty of days where I'm thinking I'm having a bad day because I'm just physically exhausted from work. Was up at 5, was up at 4, whatever it may be. Had a long day, did a bunch of overtime, people nonstop calling me. That was a physically tough day. I'm drained, I'm exhausted. Versus a bad day, in my opinion. Um, Bad days, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to. I don't want to do anything. I have no motivation right now. I think a lot of people can't differentiate the two. Um, you know, they'll have a tough day, and the following day, they'll start their day out tough again, or maybe they'll start it out bad, but they sit there and they say, okay, well, I'm extremely exhausted. It's a bad day, rather than it's a tough day. I can get over a tough day. I can, maybe all I need is a nap. Maybe all I need is a Red Bull or a coffee or whatever. Maybe I just need a hug. On those tough days, try to differentiate tough days from bad days, because if you have too many bad days, your tough days are going to turn into bad days.
Mm.
You're going to sit there and you're going to say, "Oh man, I have 16-hour shift. I'm going to call off. I don't want to do that." That's your bad day interrupting your tough day. You can go work that 16-hour shift. You've done it before. You're fully capable. Take a nap on your lunch. If you're working 16 hours, you should have 2 lunches. You got 2 hours worth of naps.
Mm.
That sounds like a good time to me. Um,
So what do you do on a bad day?
on a bad day, it's about talking to yourself. It's about recognizing that it's a bad day. If you're having a tough day, you can still be positive. You can, oh man, my legs hurt. Well, you know what? I'm going to use my arms more. Maybe my back hurts. I'm going to stand up while I'm working. I'm going to, if you're having a bad day, you have to talk to yourself. You have to drag yourself out of it. You have to drag yourself out of bed. Most days start off bad. Most bad days, they start off bad. You have to drag yourself out. You have to talk yourself through it. You have to. It may not be physically exhausting. You may not do anything at all that day. It may be your day off, but for some reason you can't find the energy to do anything. So you have to talk to yourself. You have to differentiate. This is a bad day. This isn't a tough day. This is a bad day. I need to do something extra for myself. I need to call somebody. I need to talk to somebody. Hey, you know what? I'm having a bad day. Call my best friend. Danny, bro, today's a bad day. What's going on? Honestly, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, what are you feeling? Oh, shit, man. I feel tired. I feel exhausted. I feel like I'm not getting anything done. That's already your problem. You just don't feel productive. Maybe the conversation is just what you need to have. Maybe you don't need to have a conversation. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Maybe you need to pick up a hobby, whatever it is. Go do that. Take your mind off of it. Take your mind and put it somewhere else.
So do you have a routine for yourself, like something that's been very like specifically effective, or is it always something different? Or you said like you talk to yourself, like is there like a recognition and then like a action plan?
Usually it's always different. It depends because I have a lot of hobbies, right? I love to cook. That's one thing I enjoy. But I also love cars. I also love, building things with my hands. I love playing video games. I love having conversations with people. So on bad days for me, it's a little different. I can talk myself out of a bad day. I can just, hey, this is a bad day. Get up. Do something. Okay, I'll get up. I'll do something. But if it's a day where I really can't, I'll go do a hobby. I'll go buy a new Lego set. When I had a car, I'd sit there, I'd tinker on it, talk to my friends, play the video game, whatever it is that you do. For me, like I may be able to talk myself out of it, but it took a long time for me to be able to do that. It took a long time for me to be able to sit there and recognize like, this is a bad day. Get up. But like I'll cook. Most of the time, if I'm having a bad day, I'll throw on some music, turn it up as high as I possibly can, throw some earphones on, some headphones on if I need to, and just cook, get my mind out of the gutter, and yeah, look at whatever it is that I did and just, I made it. Maybe I have this dish. Maybe I made, chicken parm. Oh, I love chicken parm. It's a good chicken parm. I made that. Everybody's eating. Now, whatever it was that I did, I've now achieved something. I've, made something beautiful, or maybe I've, progressed on a goal. If it's with a car, or maybe I built a Lego set. Now I can set it up on a wall somewhere. Whatever it is that I do personally, I make sure that I finish it from start to finish. Because if you sit there and you're having a bad day and you go pick up your hobby and you set your goal and you don't finish it, you're going to sit there and be like, wow, damn, I couldn't even finish my task. I couldn't even finish the one thing that I wanted to do because everything else got in the way, or maybe I got in the way of it, or maybe I was working on my car and I hit my hand and my knuckle started bleeding, or whatever it is. And you get, you let that bad day continue. The second you give up on a task, you let it continue. You let it, So if you wake up and you're having a bad day, get up, make breakfast. I don't care if it's, bowl of oatmeal. Maybe you should cook 2 eggs. You finished a task, you completed it, and now your day has started. Now it's up to you. Do you want to continue to have a bad day, or do you want to have a good day? Maybe you can turn your bad day into just a tough day. Oh my God, I don't want to do the 16-hour shift. It's going to be hard on me. I'm going to call out. No, well, okay, get up, make yourself breakfast, make your bed, whatever it is that you do. Do your hobby first. Read a book. Play a game on your phone. I don't know. I don't know what people do nowadays, but, do something, get that done, and then go start your 16-hour shift. Now your bad day turned into a tough day. You can get over that tough day. On a tough day for me, I'll go home, cook some food. Maybe I'll have a beer on a tough day. I don't think I'll ever have a beer on a bad day, but yeah, I think it's it's easy for me to differentiate the difference between a tough day and a bad day. But I don't think a lot of people know how to. I don't think a lot of people uh, understand that those are two totally different things. So,
And so if you were to like make it super simple, like what's the difference?
a tough day is external. A tough day is something way out of your control. You can't, if you're an Amazon driver and you have 10 100-pound packages in a row, that's not something you can control. If you're a construction worker and, you're close to a deadline, so you have to work hard and you have to pound the dirt, that's not something you can control. A bad day you can. A bad day is internal. You can talk to yourself. Everybody hears that little voice inside their head that sounds like them, unless that's just me. No. But it's internal. The difference is one thing you can control, one thing you can't. Sure, you may be able to go get a new job or whatever it is, but that new job is going to have its challenges just the same. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. Things aren't going to go the way you want them to. And that's not something you can control. You can't control your day-to-day life, but you can control your day-to-day thoughts. You can control what you perceive. You can control what you feel. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes discipline, but you can do it. You just have to. The first step is just thinking about it.
How? Because sometimes I feel like I spend so much time trying to like control my thoughts and control my thought processes, but sometimes I feel like they're out of control. And it's just like I'm like saying like I know what I gotta do. I know I gotta feel grateful, and I know I gotta like change those thought processes, but sometimes the voices in the head are just going another direction. They're saying, Evan, you're a loser. Evan, you suck. Evan, like, just going on and on about just sucking and just like, is life even worth living? And like, how do we change those thoughts?
Do me a favor. In your brain, say 3, 2, 1, clap. Okay. Now, when you say clap, clap. So 3, 2, 1, clap. But in your brain, 3, 2, 1, clap. That was easy, right? It's that easy to just take all that noise that you've got over here, focus. A lot of people, they can't do that. If they tell themselves to do something, they won't do it. If I think that's, I don't know. I heard it somewhere. I don't know if it was on a podcast or what it was on, but a lot of people, they don't have that ability to tell themselves to do something in their head and do it in the real world. So start with something simple. You have all of these bad whatever. Okay, well, what's something that I can do I can control my life? I can control those thoughts. Okay, well, 3, 2, 1, drop my phone. That's stupid. It's dumb. But I can do that. I can do it and I can leave it there. And 3, 2, 1, pick it up.
So so the clap is just the action that you choose to do?
Yeah. So, people may not see it, but every once in a while. Cool. Simple.
And is the clap is like, all right, I need to take out the trash, 3, 2, 1, that? Or is it like I have to change my thought process? Like my mind's just going way too crazy right now, 3, 2, 1, clap. But then once you clap, is it just those thoughts just change from there? Or like how, like what's like after the clap?
That's where the discipline, that's where the practice comes in. It starts with a 3, 2, 1 clap, 3, 2, 1 blink, 3, 2, 1, whatever it is. Focus your brain and get somewhere that's not those thoughts. And then that's where it takes discipline. Okay, well, I got out of that realm. What's the next one? I have a task in front of me. Or if it's a bad day, I have a hobby I can go do. 3, 2, 1, go do that hobby. Go do that task. Go do whatever it is. It takes time. It takes discipline. But eventually you'll be able to take yourself out of those bad thoughts and turn that bad day into a good day or a tough day.
It's really cool. Yeah, there's is it? I don't know if I'm quoting the correct person, but is it Mel Robbins? It might be. I heard that there's this book. I forget if it's like the 3-2-1 or like 5-4-3-2-1, but it's exactly that. And just anytime you need a shift out of that experience, you just count down and then boom, on that clap, on that expiration, you just go and you shift it. And that is
I think maybe that is where I heard it from.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a while ago, but it stuck with me and it helped. Before it wasn't a clap. Before it wasn't even a countdown. It was just a focus. I would literally just sit there in my brain and just focus. It's a bad day. And I learned that the clap helped with the action of doing something. The clap helped. Okay, I'm in control. I'm not going to let my thoughts get the best of me today. I can shut them down just by telling myself to. 3, 2, 1, clap. Very simple. But I remember in that specific thing, he had told somebody to, count down in their brain and then do something, and they weren't able to do it. They hesitated. And so it's on those bad days, you can sit there and say 3, 2, 1, clap. Oh God, that's so silly. I'm not actually going to clap. No, clap. Don't hesitate. Clap. Because that hesitation is what's going to keep you in that bad day. You have to. It's effort. You have to choose to do it. As weird as it may sound, what? I'm not going to clap. I'm on a bus. It's like, no, clap. Clap. It's the action. As soon as you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. You're choosing to stay in the negativity. You're choosing to stay in the bad. You're choosing to not take control of your life, of yourself, of your thoughts. You're just staying in it. So don't do that. It sounds dumb, but yeah. Clap. Talk to yourself. Clap. 3, 2, 1. Clap. Clap. That's it. It's simple. It's simple, but it's big. It's very big. And the more you do it, the more you're going to be like, oh, okay. I find myself doing it like 10 times a day sometimes. Wow. Like at work, oh man, I kind of, play it off and be like, all right, it's going to be a good day. Something's happening. Nope, I'm 3, 2, 1, clap in my brain. It's a bad day. Bad day. I'll clap as many times as I need to, but I'll count down each time or whatever it may be.
It just shifts.
And it just shifts. Just to ensure that whatever I'm feeling in that moment, I can put a pause on it until I'm ready to handle it. And then focus on something else.
It reminds me of something I did a little different, but in 2020, I was having especially, I was going to say tough time, but I'm going to go ahead and say bad time now that we've clarified the definitions.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was going through a very challenging time, and the thoughts were getting away from me. And I read this book, Letting Go, by David Hawkins. And it was just incredible. Like, it helped shift my whole perspective on life. And just like you were saying, the internal is on those bad days is really what's shaping the way that we see the world and how we interact. Like before, I always thought it was all the external noise and everything that was shaping the way that I felt internally. And that book helped me realize, like, no, it's like my internal thoughts and emotions that were shifting, that was creating everything on the external. So that book specifically talks about letting go of those emotions. Like, so those feelings that are very challenging, instead of like suppressing them, right, and like just like shoving them down, it's about like just like letting them come up and letting them go. And so just like you're saying, like sometimes you would like go 10 times a day, like, or even more, like 3, 2, 1, and just being consistently conscious with it. What helped me the most was just being consistently conscious with this idea of letting go.
Mm.
and I would literally just in my head say let go. And anytime I mean, I must have done it, no lie, over the course of like a few weeks. Like I must have done it like hundreds of times a day.
Oh yeah.
It was like, but it was amazing. It set me on this trajectory that was like probably just one of the best times of my life, because I just consistently was aware and just let those emotions go. And so, yeah, it just reminded me very much of this like 3-2-1 method of just become conscious aware, let those feelings go, and then move forward with a different mentality after that.
Mhm.
And that was what that letting go was for me.
Yeah. I don't want to take away from actually being able to feel those feelings, though. That's why I said, focus on those feelings when you can,
Mm.
when you have the chance. Because for me, I can internalize everything and get over it myself, but not everybody can do that. Some people, they have to have a conversation. So after that 3-2-1 clap, after that, let it go. When you're in a better headspace, figure out why did I do that? Why was I so bad that day? Why did I feel like that? What was it? And then maybe it's something that really was just external. Maybe it was. Maybe it's just like you hate your job, you know? You just hate it. That's an external thing. Now you can sit there and say, that was a tough day, not a bad day. I think that's so don't let those feelings go. Like let it go in the moment. But I feel like it's important to come back to it and focus on it and improve from it. So that when you do have those bad days, you know why. You can sit there and say, okay, well, yeah, 3-2-1 clap, but when's the next time I'm going to feel like this? It's like, no, okay, well, I felt like this because of this. I felt like that because of this. Whatever it may be. I think it's important to let it go, to push it down and focus up and choose good, but also while you're good, get better. Focus. Yeah. Focus up on why you were like that. Why did you feel like that? I have a huge fear of needles. For me, any day that a needle is involved is a bad day. Bad day. 10 times over. It's a mental day for me. Trauma, PTSD. I'm not going to say who, but, some adult in my life who should have been protecting me put toothpicks in my fingernails and wiggled them around when I got comfortable. Needles. Can't do it. Cannot. Anytime I see a needle, it's a bad day. Okay, well, I know that. So when I got, stitches on my face, I was sitting there, needles ready, almost there. I said 3, 2, 1, wince. Just squeeze. Whatever it is. 3, 2, 1, just deal with it. 3, 2, 1, just I have tattoos. Again, I hate needles, but I love tattoos. It's, in that moment, it was 3, 2, 1, speak. Say whatever comes to your mind. My tattoo artist, if I were to be able to get him to tell you what the things I were saying, he'd be like, what the hell? It was weird. Why did he say that? Things that, like, what? It doesn't make any sense. But being able to identify why it's a bad day will help you prevent it from being a bad day. So, yeah, the night that I got stitches on my face was very, very bad mentally. But afterwards, I was able to laugh. I was able to talk to the nurse. And, before when I was, younger, I punched a doctor in the face. Don't put that fucking needle in me. You're crazy. Now I'm able to, okay. I've got a needle coming. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Don't focus on it. Don't. The pain isn't what's scary. I don't care about the pain. I can deal with it. It's the idea that something's inserting into my body. That's what gets me. It's like, ugh, ick, disgusting, horrible. I feel it in my fingertips. I don't care if I'm getting a needle in my arm. I feel it in my fingernails. Okay, focus on something else. When my girlfriend was there with me when I was getting the stitches, so squeezed the shit out of her hand. Oh, sorry for being vulgar, but
Yeah.
it's just squeezed her hand. I was like, okay, done. Now, whatever they put didn't work, so I felt them actually stitching me up. So that made it extra bad, So I was like, okay, so again, something's inserting into my body, foreign object going inside of me. Cannot have that. Doc, I feel it. Oh, don't worry, I'm almost done. Okay, 3, 2, 1, snap. Can't clap. Snap. 3, 2, 1, tap. 3, 2, 1, fidget my shoulder. 3, 2, 1, blink. Whatever it is, I don't care. Find something. But being able to identify why it's a bad day, Because after I would leave the hospital when I was younger, after getting a shot on my arm, I had an ear infection. I got a shot on my butt one time. Worst day ever. You kidding me? I was mad at everybody. Like, how dare you put that needle in my butt cheek, bro? What are you doing? I didn't have to be mad the whole day. Why are you mad? I got a needle in my butt. Dude, it's over. Is it sore? No. Why are you still mad? So
have you, sounds like that experience with getting the toothpicks under your fingernails must have been a very traumatic experience.
A little bit, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that and how you've come to like terms with that or like dealt with it?
So growing up, I got abused. And there's, thick stack of paperwork on, everything that could have been documented in my childhood. I would say maybe they got a quarter of the experience that I went through. Some of the stuff, you could report and it wouldn't make it to the paperwork. So the pain thing, it wasn't just the fingertips, it was the, once I was a kid, I was playing with fire, a little patch of carpet got caught on fire and I immediately went to the bathroom and spilled water on it and I got caught and I got beat to like pulp and then thrown into a bathtub with bleach and hot water. Not a fun time. Not good. Again, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to slander anybody, maybe people have changed, but the fear isn't the pain because I can get hurt. I can get hit. I can, it doesn't matter. I don't fear pain. I think for me, what it is I fear what's actually happening. That did something to me for a while where I was like, I had to figure out whether or not I could actually feel pain. Like, I know I can, but whether or not I was afraid of it. And so, I went through this little phase of like, okay, well, can I hurt myself? Like, am I afraid of the pain? And I found out, no, I can't really hurt myself. And I'm not afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of what I'm doing to myself, but I had to identify that. And it took me a while. So, I won't tell you how I hurt myself, but, it took me a while to understand, like, I'm afraid of myself. I'm not afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of, somebody hurting me more than I'm afraid of being hurt physically. I'm afraid of them hurting me mentally, them showing me that humanity is crazy than I am the actual physical pain. I've been stabbed. Being stabbed, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. Being stabbed again wouldn't have, it hurt just the same, But who stabbed you is what matters. Who stabbed you is, if I got stabbed by some random stranger on the street, okay, cool. No, I got stabbed by my ex-girlfriend, somebody who I loved and cared for. That sucked. That hurt a lot. The pain of knowing it was her hurt more than the pain of hit me. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm able to recognize that that's what it is. But I think only because I went through that. Only because I was like, okay, well, this is the person who's supposed to be taking care of me. Why are they torturing me? Why are they hurting me? Why are they making me do this? You know, why do I feel like this? You know, the pain doesn't matter. It hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hurts. Physically, it hurts. It does suck. But I can get through that. I can get over that. You know, there might be a scar, but a physical scar you can see, but you can't see like I'm now afraid of needles.
Hmm.
I now can't take it when something foreign enters my body. I can't take that. It hurts. It hurts inside. It sucks.
So you figure, so is the 3-2-1 method the only like way that you cope with that, or is there other ways? Because ways besides, I think it sounds like it caused issues with needles, but also maybe with like trusting people, and maybe that's why going through the foster care system there was a lot of, you ran a lot, right? Because it was hard to trust people.
Yeah. People hurt people. It's just the basic science of life. Um, from the basic level of people lie to you to people kill each other. People hurt people. Um, the 3-2-1 method works sometimes in those moments, but what works best for me is, okay, you abandoned me, you hurt me, you did whatever it is. That's fine. I'm okay. It hurts, it sucks, but just let it go. So if it is 3-2-1, let it go. Just let it go. People can leave my life left and right. People can hurt me left and right. Will I give them the same trust that I gave them before? No. Will I give them the same access to me that I gave them before? No. But okay, I just accept it. Personally, I just, okay, cool, whatever. Um, Forgive, don't forget. But I think that's just me. I think that's just how I grew up. I trust people, um, because everybody deserves to be trusted until they show you they can't. So I don't care if I met you yesterday. If you need something from me, I'll do my best. But if you show me that you're only in it for yourself, then I'll take a step back. But I try not to let my past experiences keep me in a negative mindset of the world. People hurt people. That's 100% true. But people also lift other people up. Um, People make people happy. People make people sad. People make people do a lot of things, you know? So for me, it's different. I'm not going to sit there and not trust somebody just because I got hurt before. I was like that for a while. But I lost my parents' trust a long time ago. And now they trust me again. I can work towards something. I can rebuild. I can refix. I can do it. I can do it all. But the last thing I'm going to do is sit there and be negative about it. And the last thing I'm going to do is sit there and stop trusting people. Because then I'm just going to turn into a bitter person. I don't want that. I'd rather not have that. I'd rather be the happy-go-lucky guy than I am every single day. Ask anybody. I walk into a room, I'm like, how you doing? How you doing? You know? I'm a cornball. I love it. People hate it, but I love it. Why are you so happy all the time? I love everybody. Wasn't always like that, though. But yeah.
Wow.
Going through all that definitely helped me be that person today. Yeah. Helped me improve.
Thank you for sharing your story and helping us understand these challenges that you've been through, and as difficult as that has been, your realization that, like, what I'm getting is, yeah, there's tough in the world, like people hurt people, but also people lift people up, and that was like really powerful. And you choose to see the good and give people the trust and show up every day with a smile and do those small tasks every day, even if it's a tough day or a bad day. So
yeah, 100%. If I didn't do that, if I would have sat there and stayed in the this person, you know, abused me, this person nearly killed me, this person, you know, did whatever, you know, physically put their foot in my mouth, whatever it is, I wouldn't be there for these people saved me. These two men, they saved my life. They changed the outcome of who I am forever. If I would have stayed here, I would have never got here. If I would have chose not to trust people, I would have looked at these two people and been like, that's fake love. That's, you just want a paycheck. No, I chose to, they look like they love me. Let's go for it. I wouldn't be happy without that. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I think that's one thing I am happy. It's nice to talk about it. So thanks for actually giving a platform to speak about it and to vocalize it and to even just find my way through it. Because I learned something here. It was nice.
What'd you learn?
A lot about myself, about people, about the world. I learned that you can find joy in doing the small things. You can, if you stay in it, even when you're not feeling loved and protected and cared for and appreciated, if you do a small task, if you do whatever it is, be it for yourself, for your partner, for your parents, for your job, that can snowball. That can have a ripple effect on how you proceed through whatever it is that you're going through. I think that was like my biggest outtake. Outlook. I don't know what the word is, but my biggest take on it was I don't need to feel all that love and excitement and joy and whatever. But I can find all of it in just doing something small, doing something mundane like taking out the trash. Yeah. I can turn that into something that grows and becomes beautiful and becomes lively, becomes love, it becomes whatever it is. Maybe I learned something in the task at work that I really didn't want to do that task. But guess what? I found out that I like to do this one specific thing. Yeah. So I definitely learned a lot about myself, about the world, about outlooks on things, about different ways to look at things. Yeah. This is nice. This is really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate
having you on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, when my dad told me about it, I was like, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited. Yeah. This is the first time I've been able to actually like sit here and have a conversation with somebody about like all of it. Like a real like genuine conversation that is unfiltered and real. Most of the times I have to add some sprinkle of humor because nobody likes to sit in the uncomfortable, you know, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to just sit in the uncomfortable and feel it.
Talk about it.
As you mentioned, like, there's a 3, 2, 1, but at the same time, let's feel those emotions instead of just suppressing them.
Yeah. Now I'm going to finish my book. No, I'm trying to write a book, but no, it's inspiring. It really is. Genuinely, truly is. Even listening, I listened to, I was watching some of your shorts on YouTube and it really is inspiring. Hearing other people's outtakes and what other people go through and how they push themselves through and how they stay happy and how they stay, even if they aren't necessarily happy, how they choose to see the positive. I love that. I love that. It's fantastic. So
awesome.
Thanks for doing that. Thanks for having this hobby, man. It's great.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course.
I really appreciate it.